Hey, visit the link in the description for a special surprise just for you.
Right below the coupons button, you will find one of the most in-demand digital products in the online creator economy, which are courses. This is one of our main features here in System.io. In fact, most of our users host their courses with our platform and sell them with our integrated funnels. To create a new course, just click on Add a New Course and fill out your course information. So first, you would give your course a name or title, then add the name of the instructor. This could be you or whoever is teaching the lessons. Then choose a language for your course. After that, you can add a description if you want to further explain what the course is about. Then you would choose the domain for your course. So if you're new to the platform and have not connected a custom domain yet, you will see a subdomain like this one. But if you do have your own domain, you can connect it to your System.io account, and then it will show up here on this list. After that, you can customize the URL path for your course. You can use your course name or whatever path you feel is best for your course's homepage. Then we get to the more visual part of the course. You will be asked to select a theme, and this is the color that your students will see predominantly when they go through the lessons. So let's choose green, for example. You can choose the color that best fits your brand, and then you can choose a font that will be used across all the different text sections of your course. Don't worry too much about this font because you can edit each lesson's space and change the fonts there as well. Next, you will be asked to upload a logo, and this is the logo that your students will see when they access the course, and it will be located in the top left corner of their menu. And then for the cover, this one will be displayed on their student dashboard. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, we will find a very important part of the initial settings, which is the sales page. And this is the place where you would choose the page within System.io that actually is selling your course. So this is a page inside one of your funnels, and it's really important because remember we have this link. If someone uses this link and they are not enrolled or registered to your course, they'll be prompted with a button to buy the course, and the URL on this button will redirect them to the sales page that you choose here. After that, there's this little checkbox where you can decide either to show or hide your module's titles. That really depends on you, but we recommend showing them if that is something that will help your students. At the very bottom, you will find a space to add a code on the footer of your course. You can use it to add a Facebook pixel or any other type of tracking. After all of this is filled out, just click on Save and your course will be created. When you first create your course, it will appear inactive. In order to activate it, just go to the three-dot menu, click on Activate and Confirm. Once activated, if someone has access to it, they will be able to see it in their student dashboard. Now let's take a look inside the course. Courses are made up of modules, and modules contain lectures. So let's start by adding a module and call it Module 1. You can name it however you want. And then if you expand that module, you'll have the option to start adding lectures or lessons to it. You will see a pop-up where you will name your lecture and choose a template for it. Right now we have 3 options to choose from, but keep in mind you can edit them completely later on. Then click on Save and keep adding your other lectures. Then you can add another module, for instance, with more lectures, and you can make it as long as you want depending on your course topic. As you can see, even though the course is active, the individual lectures are not active. So once you are done editing the content and you want them to be available to your students, again, go to the three-dot menu and click Activate. So now that I activated all the lectures, let's see how it looks. Just click on the eye icon to preview, and this is how it looks. This is where you'll see the instructor's name and picture. This profile picture is actually added in the account settings. Now here's the logo that we added in the beginning. And of course, our green theme is all around. In order to move through the lessons, your students can click directly on the one they want here on the left, and they'll be able to see the content of those lectures. Now to add content to the lectures, just click on it and it will take you directly to the editor. This editor is very similar to our funnel editor and works exactly the same way. You would just drag and drop the elements that you need. Once you're happy with your design, you can save the changes and exit. Remember, you can also save blocks here so you can use them across all your lectures without having to create them one by one on each one. Now let's talk about delays. So we can actually add delays for each lecture. You would use this if you want to give access to your course, but not to all the lectures at the same time. Maybe you pre-sold your course and you're still building it, so you want to give access to a new lecture every 7 days. Or maybe you just want your students to go at the same pace. So to do that, just go to the settings of the lecture and add your delay. Let's say that's going to be 7 days. This means when the students access the course, they will have immediate access to the first lecture, and then after 7 days, they will be able to see the second one. And if we add another delay here for the next module, let's say 5 days, that means they'll get access to the first lecture of the second module 5 days after the last one. There's something very important to note here, and that is that in order for these delays to work, you must choose to drip your content when selecting your course's access type. This is selected in the order form settings of the funnel where you'll be selling the course. If you don't choose drip, but instead leave it as full access, then these delays that you add here will not work. Another important aspect to remember is that delays always depend on the previous step. This means that the 7 days that we put here will start counting from the day the student accessed the first lecture, and then the 5 days that we put here means it's 5 days after getting access to the last lecture, which was this second one. Now, there are actually 2 ways for your students to access your course. The first one is buying your course, and the second one is for you to manually add them and grant access to the course. To do it manually, you would just click here on Add Student, and then you would add your student's name, last name, email address, and access type. Since we added delays for our lectures, then we must choose to drip the content if we want the delays to work. If not, we can either grant them full access or partial access. For partial access, you can actually choose which modules to give access to, and then click on Save. Here's the student dashboard as your students will see it. So these are the courses that they are enrolled in. This first one is an example course we just created, and to access the course, we just have to click on Open. As you can see, it's only showing the first lecture because we previously chose to drip the content, so they will have to wait a few days to see the second one. Now, at the end of this lecture, your students will be able to mark it as complete, and that's how progress is tracked. So as you can see, since it's only one lecture, once I mark it as complete, the progress bar goes immediately to 100. Now let's go back to the course and explore the settings button. When you click on this button, you will be able to see all the initial settings that you decided on upon creating the course and change them or modify them if you need to. We can also see more options in the 3-dot menu of each module. So you're able to add a quiz to the module. You can access the module settings or remove the module completely. Let's take a look at the quiz feature. So our quizzes are a way for you to evaluate students' knowledge, and they must be passed in order for your student to be able to move on to the next module. You would click here to create a new one and then start adding your questions. These are multiple choice questions, so you must provide the answer options as well. So let's create 2 options, and for this second option, I will check this box here which indicates this is the correct answer. So I'll add a couple more questions for this example. You can add as many questions as you like, and once you're done, just click on Activate Quiz and confirm. Now let's see if it's working, so let's go back to the course and preview the course as a student. Now my student will be able to see each lecture, then they would have to mark each one as complete, and then they will see the quiz for the module. Here are the 2 example questions we just created with the answer options. Now let's choose our answers and submit them. Now apparently I chose 1 correct answer and 1 wrong answer, giving me a 50% score, which was not enough to pass the quiz, meaning I failed. But I can choose to retake the quiz, select the right answers, and pass it. Once passed, we can click here and see our results. So this is what the student would see, but from the administrator's end, it's a little different. So let's go back to the module's 3-dot menu, click on Quiz, and then click here to view the results. Then you would see the list of students who have taken the quiz. To see their results, just click on their name, and then you'll access their quiz stats. So you can see how many times they took the quiz and the results for each attempt. Now let's go back and see the second option in this module's 3-dot menu, which is the settings. Here you can change the module's name, and there's also an option to associate a page or funnel page to this specific module. You can use this option whenever you are giving partial access to your course or you're selling individual modules. Once you add a page to one of your modules, students who only have access to one of your modules will be able to click a button that will redirect them to the page you chose here so they can buy the module. This page in most cases should be either an order form or a sales page for the module that you're selling. The third option in the menu is to remove the module. This action will delete the module and its lessons completely. Once you confirm, you cannot change your mind. Now let's see the options that we have for the lectures. The first option is to deactivate the lecture. What this does is to make the lecture no longer accessible for your students. It does not delete it, but your students won't see it anymore. The second option is to edit the lecture, and this will take you to the editor. It's the same as clicking on the lecture name. The third option is to view the lecture. It will take you to the lecture dashboard and you'll see what your students see. And then we have the settings for the lecture. Here you'll be able to change the name of the lecture and add a delay in case you decided to drip your lectures. After settings, we have the option to create a drip access email. This email will be sent to your students once they receive access to a lecture, but keep in mind this will only work for students who have a drip access type. Once you click here, you will be redirected to the editor where you can draft your email, letting your students know that they now have access to a new lecture. After creating this email for the lecture, instead of having the option to create an email, it will change to edit the drip email. Moving on to the next option, we have the duplicate button. So with this one, you just make an exact copy of the lecture. And then the last option we have here is to remove the lecture. So if you click here and confirm, this lecture will be removed permanently. Now let's go back to the course list to review a few more options that we have for each course. So upon opening the course's three-dot menu, you will see a list with 7 options. And you'll soon get familiar with the options in the three-dot menu for each feature. They're pretty similar. So the first one, as you saw before, is to view the course, and we can preview the course as a student. Then below the view button, we find the curriculum button. And if you click here, you'll be able to access the space where you can add more modules and lectures. Then we have the settings button, where you'll be able to modify the information that you added when you first created the course. After that, we have the share button. This will open a pop-up with a link to share the course with other System.io users. Once they click on the link, they will get an exact copy of the course in their System.io account. And just like with the funnel share link, this also works as an affiliate link, meaning that you can share it with someone who's not a System.io user, and if they sign up using that link and buy a subscription or any of our offers, you will get a commission. We also have the option to duplicate the course. So by clicking here, we can make an exact copy. Then the second to last option we have here is to deactivate the course. By clicking here, the course will not be removed, but instead it will no longer be available for your students. Whenever you are ready to activate the course again, just go to the menu and click on Activate. Finally, we have the Remove button, and this option will remove the course permanently, meaning that neither you nor your students will be able to access or see it anymore. Now, in order for students to see the course, they can access it via their student dashboard or the link that was sent to them in an email when they bought the course, or we can share the link to the course. If they haven't bought the course, they will see a page like this, and as I mentioned before, they will see the buy button. If you remember from before, we actually selected the page where this button redirects you in the course settings, usually an order form where they can buy it directly.
Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe.